of gold, representing the bad. He is the Brazilian Zerg player. As I get the camera wrong again. It's a TheZergLord. You're too slow.
And his opponent on the far left-hand side in the blue, representing Team Alpha X. And of course, the delightful country of Mexico. It is Pacomike.
That Alpha X logo looks really good.
Right, our artist is so good. She did all of my personal stream assets as well. Love her to death. Can't wait to see more of her work later.
Very good
in the season. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, Grant, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the day, but we see very standard openings from both of these players, right? We got a hatch, a gas, and a pool down for the TheZergLord Pacomike with that low ground gateway going into Nexus and then Cybercore. What is it about these games, if people weren't watching us for the EU edition, what is it about these games that make the players play so conservatively, especially in the opening stages of their first game?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you have to look at the map. Pillars of Gold is a relatively standard map. Maybe Zerg players like it a little bit more, but in ZVP it's not as prevalent because of force field. You can't hit surround quite like you could. But also, it's, right now these guys are playing for their tournament life. This is it for them, If they lose the series, they are eliminated, and they want to play. Their best game. And if you're not Grim Reaper, if you're not, one of those cannon rushers, your best game usually is a pretty standard game. You want to feel your opponent out. You really want to get a sense for how they're going to play, how good they are on the day. Like, you can learn a lot from a macro game against someone about their strengths and their weaknesses, and we as commentators maybe can't see that as much, but you go, okay, they reacted to this a little bit, not up to snuff, or they were very good at dealing with this, so I'll do this next game. Map 1 is very important for scouting out your opponent, not just in the literal sense of scouting their build, but how they are playing on the day.
Yeah, a great observation. Speaking of cannon rushers, Grant, do you have any idea how close Turkey Dano came to qualifying for this event? He was so close. He went through all 3 qualifiers and made it pretty deep in all 3 of them. Just played really well. He also benefited because he's never done a qualifier before, I don't think. Yeah. So he actually got a very low seed, which wasn't too bad because he was able to crank his way through some rougher games early and then make his way out. But what a fun player to kind of
love to see him make it. Like, I know Grim Reaper. I know he played 1 qualifier. I don't know. We cast him, right? He played against Holy Hit.
Yes.
And he went quite far too. I think he got 2 rounds from qualification. And again, I'd have bloody loved it to see a proper dedicated cannon rusher, someone who is going to do it every game.
They're so scary if you know what they're gonna do. It's like if you were watching a horror movie and before the horror movie somebody was like, hey, by the way, the evil buccaneer is going to lure you into his pirate ship and try and cut you in half with his magical flaming blade, and you were like, all right, whatever, I can do it.
Dude, I want to watch that movie.
Even though you know what's gonna, I would totally watch that movie as well. Even though you know what's gonna happen, it's still very difficult to avoid getting sliced in half by an evil buccaneer who might or might not actually be a ghost.
I need to know more about the buccaneer.
Red pants mix. No, that's too uncreative.
That's hilarious.
It's got to be buccaneer, color object or something, right? That's how it always works. Black beard, red beard. It's always got to be I don't know, buccaneer brown pants or something. Anyway, we can work on our movie scripts later, Grant, when we're off the clock. Let's talk about this Oracle into Void Ray opening for our boy Pacomike.
Yeah, so far Pacomike's having a really good go at it. Although you can see he's not done a huge amount of damage, he did force a pretty large drone pull. The Oracle as well went in and forced a pull in the main. The Void Ray has been able to push everything back at home to deny any further detection. We've seen the Robo go down. The third is down safely for now. You can see there's nothing at the other side of the map apart from Erling, which, to be honest with you, last time I checked, isn't able to threaten a Nexus. So Pacomike doing everything he needs to do to move into a mid-game. Now we can see everything starting to power up. His Robo's on the way, his Forge is on the way, his Twilight Council is on the way, his probe count growing. He has moved out of Stargate play. So Pacomike, I'm impressed with his start so far. In terms of what he actually killed, it wasn't much. Okay, he did lose 3 Adepts actually, I didn't realise he lost that many. But still, I think he could be happy with how the game is going.
Yeah, no question. A couple of links popping out here to try and pressure the third, but that Adept in a good position, the Shield Battery in a good position as well. One little probity boy might pay the price there, but that's not really the biggest pressure ever from the TheZergLord. Obviously, when you move out with those lings, you're really hoping that 6, 8, 10, 12 lings can pop down that third and force a cancel out of the Protoss player. The TheZergLord unable to find that kind of damage. Now, that's mostly because he's really teching up back home. He is not invested heavily into army at all. He's on 14 army supply, but look at his tech, Grant, early lair. Roach speed popping out at the same time. Very quick +1 Roach push.
Hydra Den.
And a Hydra Den out at the same time. I hate to say this early in the game, but is the TheZergLord committing too much to infrastructure?
I mean, he does have his fourth. His drone count is good. Sure, his unit count is low right now, but so is our Protoss players. He saw the timing of the third, and he's been able to pop in with a ling every now and then and see the probe count, see probes constantly transferring. It is a bit of a risk without having an Overlord to fully scout that. It's not like a 7-gate coming your way, an 8-gate Zealot push or something like that. But there we go. Here comes the Overseer. So that is going to just confirm, okay, there's a lot of workers right now. I am pretty safe to do what I want. We do have there's so many sentries. Seeing that many sentries is a big tell of what's coming. And now going in and seeing an Immortal, second one coming, you can see the gateway count. This is a very important scout for the TheZergLord. Without pneumatized carapace, he should start producing quite a few units pretty soon. We can see the first couple of Hydras are out. That is a hilariously crap army right now.
He's even brought 2 queens with this, Grant. This is really surprising,
really
actually. And he's rolling up back home. Are you kidding me? 12 drones getting scrubbed in after that scout? I'm a little surprised right now to see the TheZergLord not panicking a little bit more than he should, but weirdly enough, he has read this situation pretty well, as we do see a second Robo Bay, and gate 7 and 8 coming out for Pacomike. Pacomike going to do this right. He's not going to press out too early. I think he's going to wait for some Colossi, maybe some Disruptors, and that second Robo to start cranking them out 2 at a time.
Yeah, I think it will probably be Disruptors at this point. I mean, a 4th base going down. We've got a proper hearty macro game coming right now. There is going to be a nice scout here. Phoenix is just going to get in and see everything once again. And the main thing they're checking is there's no surprise tech. In terms of upgrades, does our Zerg have any? Yeah, he has +1. Okay, that's fine. Our Protoss is working on +2, and there is double Disruptor production. Now, that is something that does need to be established quite quickly, because, of course, the TheZergLord is producing Lings, Roaches, and Hydras, and they properly explode good. They really like to blow up. With Zealot Charge coming as well, I like Pacomike's tech choices. His worker count is great. I mean, no one's really done anything. Oh my god, okay. Did he see that? He must have seen it.
Sees a couple Banelings there. I'm not sure if he was paying attention, though, just the very edge of that Warp Prism's vision. So the Warp Prism going to try and pressure this base here, but already 31 Banelings on the map for the TheZergLord, dumping all of his gas into Banelings for half a defense and half of a big roly-poly Baneling attack coming straight into this third base. Oh, man, Pacomike definitely did not see this coming. This is going to be absolutely brutal. Protoss players, look away now.
Yeah, I mean, no amount of Super Battery can do anything here. We can see, a very nice warping actually is going to be able to just buy a lot of time to save some of these workers. But these Banelings are going to explode. 12 workers going down, and this isn't the end of it yet. Disruptor coming in as well. It is. Oh, wow. Okay, going to do a good job. Does damage, but actually not kill all of those. Oh, no, of course it was the Baneling explosion.
Yes.
That damage and did not manage to kill too many. 13 workers is good, but that was like 40 Banelings or something stupid. Like, it was like 30, I think, right?
Well, 30 total there. Even more of those 30, though, coming down to try yet again. We'll see if he can split properly this second time.
Oh, God, there's no wall.
Pacomike doesn't see it. Pacomike doesn't see it this time. Oh, man. Luckily, Pacomike does have a big army up here at the 12 o'clock. He is going to be driving in. But, oh, man, tons of Banelings on the ground right now. Disruptor shot, getting a few of them, but not enough. The Baneling, oh, my God, the Disruptor actually still alive here.
Yeah,
decent
I don't know how.
Pacomike.
If that Disruptor had gone down, then there would have been nothing for the army. We can see double hallucinated Colossus here there, just to get a little bit of vision, to see on the high ground if there was a flank coming, something like that. Of course, not doing any actual damage here, because it's Haluk. The Banelings are going to be able to get in and get on top of a lot of the sentries there, and now that takes away so many of the force fields that the army is just going to have to stand and fight head on. We can see Disruptors coming in, but unfortunately they can't blow up on their own army and all of these Lings, because they will kill everything, and now this is a complete complete win here for the ZergLord. Supply up 70. He's going to be able to clean this up. He's getting a base. There is a drop in his main that's going to kill a few drones, but it needs to do substantial damage. Kraken and Banelings are very, very good.
Yeah, even that Queen gonna get away scot-free here. Only 3 drones going down, and that's simply not enough. The ZergLord on 79 workers to the 60 of Pacomike, and Pacomike looking like he's in a real rough spot right now. Now, he's still in the game. Remember, guys, we're playing this game with map hacks. We can see everything on both sides, but if you check Pacomike's vision here, he hasn't really seen too much. He knows he's up against 5 bases, but he hasn't seen all the tech, right? He sort of knows what the army looks like, but doesn't have a good beat. And if you're Pacomike, you might be sitting in this game thinking, you know what? If I can get up to Archons, if I can get up to Storm, I can have a substantial army. I can fight this. Maybe he's overinvested. Maybe his Baneling hits took too much, and they didn't trade very efficiently. But here at home, we know the supplies simply do not lie, Grant. The ZergLord hilariously far ahead right now in this game.
Yeah, the ZergLord's army is very strong too. The only thing it's very weak to is Storm, but there is a timing. Storm is not done. Of course, Disrupt as well. AoE damage generally is its weakness, but he can hit in so many places at once, and the army right now of Pacomike is so slow to move around. It's not going to be able to split well. He needs to keep most of the army together. Disruptors are pretty bloody good, but a lot of them going down now, and that's so much damage done. Storm has finished up, and we will see some very nice storms. Oh, the Baneling, the Archon morphing was really nice there as well. I really didn't think they would survive, but nice there. But it isn't enough, and GG, the ZergLord picks up map 1.
Yeah, nice damage control there from Pacomike at the end, right? A couple bad engagements, and then from minute, let's see, that game finished at minute 12. So I'd say from minute 10 to about minute 12, I've got to commend Pacomike doing a nice job preventing, like wrapping the wound a little bit more and doing the best job he could with the very limited army and supply that he had. But at the end of the day, the ZergLord just playing very well, though those Baneling run by, crippling his opponent, and he really focused well on something these players tend to do quite well in DreamHack, especially focusing on economic damage and then positioning with your timing afterwards. So TZL grabbing a quick game 1 there, a decent game 1 there actually, and I'm a little impressed with his play there. This is going to be a great series. Yeah,
definitely an incredible start there from the ZergLord. He really impressed me, and I mean, he did pick up a map against Chan. We did say he did get a bit of a build order win, but he's executing very, very well. He maybe could have been slightly more decisive. He didn't know quite how far ahead he was, but when he did go, he bloody went, and he took the fight very well, and was able to close that game out. And now he's 1 map away from having a second chance against the loser of Kelaj or Cham, and maybe, just maybe, Terran is his best matchup. And if Kelaj loses, then who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. I do want to point out, by the way, Pacomike, who qualified in the second qualifier, I believe, had some really strong games against other players in the region here. So qualifying in qualifier number 2 obviously isn't quite as impressive as the first one, but Pacomike is still a really strong player. The ZergLord qualified in that same second qualifier as well. So this is about as even a match as we're going to get in DreamHack anywhere. And I'm really jazzed to see game number 2 here. Let's hop on in, Grant.
Yeah, in the bottom right, representing Team Alpha X, he is trailing in the Series 0-1. Can he bring it back? The blue Protoss player from Mexico, it's Pacomike.
And his opponent from Brazil. In the top left-hand side in the red, from the bad gaming, it is the ZergLord. I was going to make a joke about him being Brazilian, but I couldn't get all the words to work out. I've been casting for too long now. My charm has worn considerably thinner than it did 3 or 4 hours ago, but we're going to push through. These matches certainly make it easy to have fun commentating. These players, just a ton of fun. Again, hatch down first for the ZergLord. Pacomike with the gateway on the low ground. Neither of these players really willing to go for a big strategy, to bet it all on black, to spin that wheel. Both of them saying, you know what, I'm confident in my play. I've played this guy before. I know what to expect. I can go hatchcast pool. I can go Nexus after gateway. I'm going to be just fine.
Yeah, it's all very standard so far. I don't know if Pacomike is a cannon player or something like that. I have seen, I didn't think so. I've seen some players start to add in Forge after gateway and go for the late cannons. It's not something that's too popular still, and I don't expect to see a lot of it, but always nice if we can get something like that at some point. But for now, yeah, just a Brazilian % chance that we're going to see some Zerglings. We're going to see a lot of drones, and we're going to move into a pretty standard mid-game so far. here on Death Aura, I like some Stargate play. I think that would be pretty nice here from Pacomike. He did go for it last game. I think Oracle into Void Ray is still very, very strong. And you always have the possibility to chuck down another Stargate and go into some Phoenix play or Mass Void Ray if you're Goblin. We will see now. One Adept going to come. Warp Gate should be starting off here pretty soon. Although he is saving gas. I think it will be a Stargate before Warp Gate.
It definitely does look like that. Pacomike is a player who definitely does love Stargate play. Obviously, it's such a powerful opener, especially against Zerg players. Now that Void Rays are a more viable option for Protoss players, we see more and more of them cranking out either Oracle into Void Ray or even just Void Ray first here. And that does a couple of things. One, it guarantees you damage. So if you're up against some sort of surprise Ling all-in, you've got those Zerglings trying to tear down your Cyber Core, if a Void Ray pops out, it's constant damage forever. Whereas if there's an Oracle, it's going to run out of energy eventually. But most importantly, that Void Ray can pick down Overlords, can reduce the scouting on the map. These Lings going to get in, though, just before the Adept pops in. Great scout for the ZergLord.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. He will confirm what he most likely expected, which is that Stargate. And just seeing that everything is normal. There's nothing strange. There's no, Twilight Council Robo. There's no risk of Dark Shrine or anything like that. It's nice, You can see he immediately, he presses S and he presses D and makes a big round of drones. This Adept really ain't going to get much done, but it's going to have a good college try. Void Ray is on the way. Was there an Oracle? No, so straight into Void Ray is interesting. I do like Oracle first, but I guess knowing he was scouted, he's pretty certain that the spores will go down either way and finding damage could be difficult. So a Void Ray to push back Overlords, and then maybe you can send the Void Ray across the map. I think that's an underutilized tool. Void Rays are really fast. And that's what
we see a lot of Protoss players doing is starting out with the Void Ray once they're scouted because they know, hey, he saw my Stargate, he's going to put down the Spore Crawlers anyway. My first Oracle's not going to do much at all. And this is a very common follow-up as well in the NA region and Latin American region especially. Not just a second Stargate down, but a third Stargate immediately. So Grant, I know it's late for you. I know breakfast is probably the last thing on your mind right now, but get ready because a Fleet Bacon may be the choice here in a couple more minutes to go mass Void Ray with that Flux Veins upgrade. Now, most importantly, if this is not scouted by the ZergLord sooner rather than later, it can be impossible to hold on.
Yeah, this is something you really need to identify, and we don't see a lot in the Latin American region. I've not seen a lot of the Zergs going for pneumatized carapace. It's very popular in EU to open with pneumatized carapace. We see Lambo and Serral do it a lot. Reynor does it from time to time as well.
Sure.
Just to really make sure you see everything. Now, it is kind of risky when you're playing against Void Ray openers because it can be difficult to see, but this Ling pressure is very scary right now. This Nexus has a lot of hit points and there is a battery. If oh my god, okay, I thought the wall was open there and my eyesight is not very good. But if you should just go down for the third right now, oh, it's Ling, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, strange choice here from the ZergLord not to focus fire down that third base, which could be under serious duress right now. He's going to catch one of the Adepts out. We'll get the Adept. But keep in mind, though, because there are all these extra gateways, or all these extra Stargates down, there's only one Warp Gate out for Pacomike. So with one Warp Gate, it's difficult to defend this third base. And as you said, that Nidus coming down from the ZergLord is a very unusual choice, considering that Pacomike has complete control of the air right now and probably can scan around and find where that Nidus is going to go down more quickly than he otherwise would if he was just on, like, delayed Adept right now or something.
Yeah, I really like this position for Pacomike. Now, Lings, of course, very quickly, very quick, are able to get around and drop the Nidus. There is an Overseer as well that can drop it in the main, and the Void Rays are very far from home. Nidus builds so quickly. We should see that drop soon. There's a lot of Lings rallied at home, and there comes the Worm. I'm going to do my Nidus Worm impression. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
I have to wait for it to,
Okay, hang on. So I don't want to put any pressure on you or anything. The Nidus Worm going to come up in 3, 2, 1. Hey, that's pretty impressive, Grant. I'm not mad about that at all. Just as the Fleet Bacon finishes as well, that's going to be the first target here for the ZergLord. 6 queens out, Lings flooding into the main, and as you said, those Void Rays nowhere to be found. Where on earth are those boys? Out at the third base right now. Going to get the second Nidus opening, but that is not the problem. This main base under serious duress. Depowers, a lot of stuff here.
The main is going to be completely shut down. Every means of production will be killed. The Stargates are quite far down south, and that's going to allow them to be okay, but +1 will be cancelled. The Void Rays, there are a lot of them here. How many are there? 6. Can the Queens win this fight? I think they can. with transfuses, and I mean everything is getting destroyed here. The TheZergLord is down in supply, and it is mainly in workers, but he really needs to hit these transfuses right now. He's making nothing but queens. The transfuses are great. There are no batteries here right now. He needs to target 5 Void Rays one at a time, and he's now starting to do so. And this is starting to look pretty good for the TheZergLord. If he can keep the target fire up, he's killing so many workers, Creighton.
Yeah, a little micro mistake here from the TheZergLord, not target firing the Void Rays down one at a time. He's wasting a couple queen shots on things like the Nexus, on things like the gateways. He's wasted all of his transfuse energy, but with 30 probes going down, even if this all gets destroyed, the TheZergLord still is going to find himself in a really nice spot. There's a couple links tearing apart the natural as well. And again, even if these queens do get pushed back, I think with Focus Fire, he's going to be in great shape.
Yeah, and I mean, there are still, there's 8 Mutas on the way. Behind this, there is a Spire. So, I mean, the TheZergLord's playing a really fantastic series so far. I'm really, really impressed. And the third base, I believe, is the only base with any workers left. Pacomike is in so much trouble. 27 workers. The queens will get picked up, but there's still a good amount at home. There's still 6 on the field. So even when these go down, there will be 4. Okay, make that 5 that will be able to survive. And these Lings are just continuing to be so frustrating. And trying to find every little bit of damage. The Void Ray count is good, but hello, it's Mutalist time, and Void Rays just aren't quick enough. GG, TheZergLord.